ADHD parents, let me ask you something. What if I told you that everything you've been doing to help your kid might not actually be working because you're treating the wrong thing? Ugh, I know. Deep breath. Stay with me. You finally got the ADHD diagnosis. You patted yourself on the back, maybe even shed a tear of relief because finally some answers. But then, why is your kid still melting down for hours, shutting down at school, or fighting you on literally everything? Here's the kicker. ADHD almost never travels alone. Anxiety, sensory issues, ODD, DMD, PDA, and not the good kind, learning disabilities, they all love to crash the party. And if we don't figure out exactly what we're dealing with, we end up treating ADHD when it's really anxiety. Punishing sensory overload like it's defiance, or throwing every ADHD hack at the kid whose real struggle is an undiagnosed learning disability. So, if you're wondering why what you're doing is not working, grab your favorite cup and let's dive in. Welcome back everyone to Chaos and Caffeine, where we give you ADHD parenting on the real, no jargon, just actual help. And my name is Danielle Kelly. You can consider me your ADHD parenting bestie. I have been training for a little over 6 years to become the best parent that I can be. And now I'm here to teach you all of those skills. So let's talk about ADHD's sneaky little friends, comorbidities 101. ADHD rarely shows up alone. It's that kid at the party who brings their entire chaotic friend group along. Studies show that up to 80% of kids with ADHD have at least one coexisting condition. So if you feel like traditional ADHD strategies aren't fully working, it's probably because there's something else at play. Let's run through some of the biggest contenders. Anxiety. If your child's daydreaming is actually them getting lost in worry spirals, you might be dealing with anxiety instead of or alongside of inattentive ADHD. Sensory processing disorder. That behavior problem might actually be a kid freaking out over itchy clothes, loud noises, or bright lights. Oppositional defiant disorder. If no is their favorite word and power struggles are their love language, you might need to look beyond ADHD. DMDD, disruptive mood dysregulation disorder. If meltdowns last for hours and feel like an emotional hurricane, it could be more than just impulsivity. Autism spectrum disorder. While ADHD and autism have overlap, they also require very different parenting strategies. Now, let's talk about why the right diagnosis changes everything. Here's the thing. ADHD parenting is already a full contact sport, but if we're treating the wrong issue, it's like showing up to the wrong game. If your kid is struggling with anxiety, you don't just need an ADHD-friendly routine, you need strategies that reduce uncertainty and create safety. If your child has sensory sensitivities, punishing them for overreacting is like punishing a kid for sneezing. It's not something they can control. And if we're dealing with DMDD, timeouts aren't going to cut it. You need co-regulation techniques and emotional safety strategies. So before you throw every ADHD hack in the book at your kid and wonder why they're still struggling, let's make sure we're treating the actual problem. Looking for some new toys and tools that your ADHD kiddos will love? Play Therapy Supply has you covered with a great selection of toys, games, and fidgets that can be used by ADHD children, their parents, caregivers, and professionals alike. From fidget toys that help children calm down, de-stress, and focus, to social-emotional learning resources to help kids understand their feelings and emotions, to games and activities designed to improve emotional regulation. Play Therapy Supply has it all. For thousands of items and fast and free shipping, visit playtherapysupply.com today. Practical tips to get the right diagnosis. Here's what you can do right now to make sure you're on the right track. We're going to track the patterns. Start logging what's happening and when. Do meltdowns always follow transitions? Does homework turn into a battle only when writing is involved, or reading in our family's case? Patterns give us clues. Ask your child's teacher. If they're seeing the same struggles at school, it might be ADHD. If it's only happening at home, you might need to look at environmental triggers. Consult a specialist. Pediatricians are great, but you might need a neuropsychologist, developmental pediatrician, or child psychiatrist to dig deeper. Educate yourself. The more you understand, the better you can advocate for your child. Speaking of developmental pediatrician, check out our previous episode with Dr. Narissa Bauer, where she dives deep into many practical strategies where you can help your child thrive. And that brings me to our related product of the week, What Your ADHD Child Wishes You Knew by Sharon Celine. This book is a game changer. Dr. Celine not only breaks down ADHD from the inside out, but she also dives into all of the emotional and behavioral layers that come along with it. It's like reading the instruction manual our ADHD kids never came with. Seriously, grab a copy. I'll drop the link in the show notes. Now, let's wrap this up with a little something for you and me. Repeat after me. I am the expert on my child. I trust myself to find the answers they need. One more time, just for good measure. I am the expert on my child. I trust myself to find the answers they need. Because, my friend, we've got this. The road might be messy, but you're already doing the most important thing, and that's showing up. That's it for this week, my fellow caffeine-fueled warriors. If this episode gave you some aha moments, please like and subscribe, but definitely share it with a friend because I want this corner of the internet to find more of those who need it. Until next time, deep breaths, strong coffee, and keep going.